Bye. Gaming. All right. Oh. There we go. Get that going. Move you back over. Let's go. Dude, it's cozy today. It's cozy today. It's fucking raining. We got the lava lamp now back in shot. It's all the way in the background, but it's fine. It's there. In our messy little fucking cave. It's a little bit warmer. And I only have cardio today, which is sick. Oh, good. We still have time. Every square is a rectangle, but not all rectangles are squares. Shh. Shh. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, dude. Enough out of you. Hi, critic. What's going on in your guys' little world? The guy who invented the Pringles can is buried in one. It's been a week, man. I hear that. Me and my buddy are laughing at Temu products. Well, that's good. At least someone's got something going. Dude, this has been it's one of those weeks where it's like it's not bad, it's just going long, and like you just feel, like I can't really describe it. You know what I mean, Tucker? It's just been feeling like a little. It's like right about to crest over into it being kind of a lot. And yeah, it feels that's what it sure did. Man, it's one of those things where it's just like, I know y'all feel me on this to at least an extent, that when like that Valentine's Day blues comes around, just like, oh boy. That's what it is. Like, that's what it is for me, man. Like, I think it's been like fucking 10 years now. I think it's been exactly 10 years since I actually participated in like a Valentine's Day. But it's just like, damn, bro, that's crazy. I participate every year. Cheap chocolate in March. Oh, yeah. Nah, see, you're doing it right. Chocolate last year's, man, it's not gonna go bad in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. I wish I was more of a chocolate person. I really do. I've had good chocolate before, don't get me wrong. But are you every time? Every time, like I get a hard lock, I fire, and someone swipes it from me. Hershey's feet. Oh, dude, like, isn't it like the only reason people like Hershey? Or it's like it was designed to melt. Like it's designed for s'mores. It's not good chocolate. It's never been good chocolate. But it's oh god, dude, the start of the fucking year is always just such. It just feels like you're trudging. I gotta fucking try Hershey's when I got free time after school. I know a shop that sells that shit. Ugh, it just feels like plastic in your hands. You know, it's just got that like ick to it. I don't know what it is. this thing's going to be getting up tiered a lot more. I've been having a lot of thoughts, fellas. I've been having a lot of thoughts. And I would very much like them to stop. I don't know. Not quite warmed up enough to go on one of my rants. We'll get there, though. It's like, on one hand, super glad, super happy to always be here. Never not. But then I just get in those waves, man. I'm like, I want something a little more and not stream related. Always happy to do it, though. Just a little bit of fentanyl. Perhaps. I just want to get through these fucking start of the year lulls and all that fun shit. Oh, I think I might start putting bombs on this thing because if we're getting full up tiered every game, there's almost no point. I feel like War Thunder just isn't the move right out of the gate. You know what I mean? Like, I want to play with friends. It's just like a fly around. It feels like COD, you know? I opened my first case today in a blue P90 skin or something. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I know fucking all about fucking CS skins, dude. No fuck and all. It was Battle Scar. I got like something in my fucking throat, dude. Again, like I've heard that sometimes Battle Scarred can be good, sometimes it's bad. Depends on the skin. I don't know. Fucking CS skins are a fucking enigma to me, dude. I don't get it. I don't understand things that have value that like there are no I don't understand things that aren't real that have value. And I feel like it's always gonna be like that as time goes on, you know? That's always gonna be the thing. You wanna do some shiny let's do some shiny hunting. I just need to chill and just Open you. Get the timer going. On day 10. Okay. This is like such a good. This is such a good way to like feel like I'm doing something and then actually just like have something going while we talk and shit. It just feels like one of those days. I think it's like I do want to do War Thunder at some point, but I don't want to do it by myself. And I'm pretty sure some of the fellas are gonna be online today at some point, so I'll just wait for that. It's one of those days where you simply don't want to do anything but but be a furniture thing in a room. That's what I'm talking about, Tucker. Dude, this thing in my fucking throat, it's just like blah. I'm all like gunked up. Oh, dude. I'm trying to live life so fast and it goes so slowly. It's so fucked up. You know what the thing is for me though? Is if I'm being genuine with you guys, I'm just waiting for fucking like I need like a distraction of some kind. I need something to like keep pace with. Like a show or like that's why I like sports, dude. That's why I like baseball. It's 165 games every single year for every single team, and it starts in February and it ends in October. It's fabulous. And let me tell you, brother, I'm fucking missing it. I'm missing just a brain off thing that lasts literally 3+ hours. I miss it. I need it. And thankfully, it starts again on the 20th, which will be nice. But yeah, man, February sucks. This one feels especially difficult. Not just because of like the obvious shit, but I feel like the scroll far enough on Temu and it's basically porn eventually. Temu, the new OnlyFans. I feel like that trend is slowly dying. I don't know, like me and the fellas, like we've all like not just because they've been getting girls, man, but I feel like that whole phase is dying, if not over. Because I mean I'm going off of like what I'm doing, and I'm like, I mean I was full cold turkey, bro. Like that was like not good for that shit. Like any porn of any kind, not good for you, man. You never realize how fucking desensitized you are to that shit, dude. You genuinely have no idea. Like, I thought I had some idea of like what I was seeing and like what it was that was going on. But dude, no idea. No idea. I think I have a Pokemon pack to open. But yeah, man. Quit that shit early. Quit that shit as early as possible. Because you are just going to pay for it later. Like, I definitely feel like mentally it set me back a while. As far as, like, the mentality of, like, a relationship and shit. And I'm having to, like, go through that process again of... Bro, I got fucking nothing out of that. That was terrible. Like, I'm very open about my process of going through this. Like, and a lot of this is still really new. And, like, man, there are days when I may be back, maybe not be, watching a movie with friend, faux show. Like, dude... some days are easier than others. It's fucking... just feels so meh. I don't know. And that's when I just, like, fall back on... like, the whole religion thing, dude, again. Because it's just, like, I've done it by myself. It sucks as much, if not worse, when I have to handle all of that pressure of trying to better myself and trying to, like, think about every step you take, every move you're gonna make, every fucking decision, everything. It sounds like you did a religion like fentanyl. Maybe. I don't know. But, like, knowing and, like, feeling that, like, you can unburden yourself is... I mean... to say it's a blessing is, like, an understatement. Because let me say it like that. Like, this is the farthest I've ever gotten on just, like, healing, right? Without falling backwards into, like, the thing I'm trying to get away from. And that feels amazing. Like, but it's like on the same side of that coin, dude. It's like you can destroy all that progress in, like, one slip, one bad decision, dude. Like, that shit sucks. Like, just the... like, oh my god. And I don't know, like, just the thought of that, like, scares the fuck out of me. Because I see it as, like, if I can't beat this, I'll never be able to truly accept, like, another person's love, like, another person's like, another relationship. Because, like, when you grow up, or at least when I was growing up, like, that was, like, all you thought about. That was all I thought about. And it was just like, now I'm like, okay, let's pull back the curtain on this and show that there's probably more to this than what you're thinking, you know? And that's one of the things where I'm like, I feel like I've been going through it alone. Even, like, someone like my therapist has not been very much help with something like this, because they think, or they have the opinion of, stop thinking about philosophy of life if you've never made lasagna. See, I've made lasagna. Lasagna's goated. But, like, I hated that almost excuse of like, oh, everyone does it, so it's natural. It's like, hey man, everyone's jumping off a bridge. It's normal. You know what I mean? Like you're still jumping off a fucking bridge, dude. And it's so fucked up because it's like I look at like the progress I've made and it's like, oh dude, I'm not even at a year yet. I'm not even at like I'm not even at a year of trying to like fix this. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I mean, it's like, I mean, life kind of warns you. It's like this is gonna be the hardest thing. What's going on, man? Oh, like the quitting porn, like no masturbation, none of that shit. Like full, like sexual cutoff, right? That has been like what I've been working on. Like that is the thing that has just been like, it fucked with my head so much. Hey, Victor. It fucked with my head so much that you need some of it just to regulate like a beer a week. See, that's the thing, right? The problem is I know me. I know me. It's not just a beer a week. If I justify it in my mind and the way I feel, right? This is how it feels to me. And I know you can understand this to an extent. Is that I feel like I am no closer to bettering myself. It is the it is I want to describe this feeling on what it is exactly, but it's going to be really difficult. Regardless of how badly I want it, there is something at my core that is like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then after it happens, I'm like, oh, I feel worse. Like I just feel shittier. Like in that one, it's like, you know, in like your moment of ecstasy, you're just like, yeah. It's not shame. It like there's definitely shame in it, but it's not the main thing. It really is just like it feels like a moment of failure. It feels like I failed to do something that I know I can do, right? That's the thing. Like to be a version of myself I know I can achieve. That is 100% like what it is. Like you got the same feeling when you finish. But I don't know that, right? That's the thing. The thing is that like there are emotions and feelings. It is a self-worth problem. It is 100%. I've dealt with self-worth issues for majority of my life. And the thing is that I don't know where to go, right? I don't know where to go. But when I feel like I let go, it is really difficult to try and get a perspective on this. Like I've talked about self-worth issues for multiple streams. Like it is 100% something I've dealt with like through all my life. It's why I work out. It's why I try and like be like one woman's trash is another woman's treasure. It's called garbage cannot. Garbage cannot. A garbage cannot. But that's the thing, right? I just feel like a lot of mistakes I've made by my own decision making have been around that space. So it very much is like it makes me feel. It doesn't make me feel like me. Like that's what it's like. I don't feel like myself. And the other thing is that the reason like I'm doing this like in the way I'm doing this is because I've done I'm doing other things that are unrelated to it, but going with the same mentality of like, kind of just like let go, do your thing. But if it like go off of the way it feels, go off that feeling of like, because internally I know something that's like scary, but like you're excited to do it, right? Or something that like you shouldn't do, right? There is something beyond those things. And the betterment of yourself, the betterment of your craft, the betterment of just you as a person. And that's the shit that I'm after. And I can't do it while feeling like these things are holding me back. And like, and that's why like I mean that's why I run back to like religious shit, is because it's just like you have these moments where you just like, it feels like the book is reading you, right? Sort of thing. Like it just is. It makes me feel whole. I can't explain it. It's a it's like we talked about this the other day on Tuesday, that the reason you fall into something like this, or at least like most people, like the reason I did, hey, whatever works to feel better, man. It's eating, if it's eating gravel, and that's the thing. That's why I feel comfortable enough to talk about these things in these spaces, because I know it's not just me, right? It makes me feel more me, and that's the thing. I think the thing that's just so difficult is that it was a part of my life for so long. The majority of my life, it was a part of me. And I'm just like, oh, hell no, dude. I feel like shit all the time. But that's the thing, right? I can at least say, like, as of, like, when I turned 18, right? And started making decisions based on my own feel, my own way, I started getting happier, for sure. Because, like, we talked about it on Tuesday, of when I was like kind of left to my own devices and like left to my own decision making, I did things the way people told me to do them, and all I did was feel shittier based on like what I had known as a kid, based on whatever it was that got me to that point. And then I started changing things, doing things the way I wanted to do them, and I started feeling happier, better, and just looking better, feeling better, doing better. Everything was just better when it was like I let go. Not many people wanted to discuss it, so it seems like their lives are perfect, and social media makes it worse because you only see them at their best. That's the thing, man. That's the thing that really turns me away from like TV shows recently. Like every story lacks a struggle. Every story lacks there's no, I don't feel like you're very getting the very human connection, right? Like suffering is innately human. Like everything that's alive suffers in some way, right? But like I just feel it's important to talk about it. You have to shine a light on it if you want it to get better, right? And some people shine so much light on it that it covers up what it took to get there, which is also just like it is a balance thing. It is absolutely something. It's something that no one has figured out on their own, right? Everyone has their own way, which is why people turn to religion or like Buddhism or just some kind of mentality thing where you're just like, okay, like everyone's got different answers. But the thing is that when you move away from something like I feel spiritual or just like with some form of faith, right? You fall into this rut of just like you're putting so much pressure on yourself that it's inhuman, right? You have all these needs and desires that are innately unique to you, and then you have people that are also the same as you in your ear saying like, oh, you shouldn't do this because of this, you don't need this because of this, you don't want this because of this, right? They're all people telling, like, that was what I dealt with a majority of my life. And that the thing is that I still think about it like that. And the thing is that, like, I've kind of come to this point. I won't say conclusion yet because there's still a lot more to figure out. But the thing that I'm hearing is that, for myself at least, I can't. I there is information and advice that is valid, but it's like, oh, you don't need, like, a. I guess the easiest one is, like, you don't need a bunch of money in your life to be happy, and I'm like, okay, fine, and like that one's probably like the most common, right? But it's just like, or like the you need to wake up to an alarm every single day to get on a schedule. I for some reason, I am not someone who can do schedules. I don't know why. I've tried schedule, like, even while streaming, I have tried schedules for 3 years. I have tried putting myself on a schedule to stream. Every time I try, it falls apart. Every single time. I can't control it. It's like, and there was we did it for a whole year, right? We did at least a 6-hour stream every single day for almost every single, not every single day, but like every weekday for a whole year. I would start at 7 and we would go till like 1 in the afternoon for me. And oh my God, the day I fucking turned that alarm off, I never went back. Like, I never went back. It was immediate. Like, that's the thing about structure, is that, like, if it actually is structure, it's going to stay there regardless of the storm. And the reason I feel like I know that is because I'm still streaming, right? If I didn't want this in some aspect, if I didn't want to continue this in some way, I would stop doing it. But I'm still doing it. So, like, that's enough proof for me to believe that there is something that lies beyond that, right? So, if you're not and it's like, yeah, sometimes structure like that is important, and I know a lot of my friends, like, live like that, but I'm just not that person. I've never been able to, like, even if it was like for something important, I've never been able to, like, consistently live by it. Like, I think about, like, the years of school, right? Like, the day you get to sleep in until like 9 a.m., like, oh my God, like, forget it. Like, it's not happening. Oh my God. Like, I can't go to sleep at 9 at night to wake up at 5 in the morning. I can't do it. I've tried. I've just never been that person. And it's not like it wasn't like the old college try. No, it was like fucking, like, I would do it for over a year, like months at least. And I mean, when I was in school, like, the routine was like, you do your homework, you're in bed by 9, and I would lie there for hours as a kid, and I like never I don't remember it ever being stressful. I just couldn't fucking sleep. I was just like, I'm not tired. I'm not, like, I'm in, like, that was like my go mode. Like, between the hours of like fucking 4 p.m. till like past midnight, I'm like in go mode. And as a kid, like, that fucked me so bad because, like, you had to be up at 5 a.m. I had to go to 5 a.m. swim classes and then go immediately to school. So it's just like, I'm basing a lot of this off of, like, personal experience. And the thing is that, like, on one hand, everyone's different, but on the other hand, everyone's the same. So it's just like, and the way everyone is, like, the same is that, like, everyone feels an emotion. Everyone has a feeling of feeling better, right? And that good feeling, right? I always say it like this. It's like, it's the same thing as, like, there's multiple different versions of fear, like fight or flight, or you have anxiety over a job interview, right? It's the same thing with fear, or the same thing with joy. Like, you can bust a nut and feel like fucking Superman, right? or you take those paths of least resistance and do what feels right to you, and that's also joy. That's also a good feeling. But one of them is very short term, the other one is very long term. And then the thing is that this is where, like, in my head, I start cutting off where I stop listening, right? This is where I cut off where people stop listening, because the argument that I've heard recently and past that is that, like, well, what if that bad feeling comes back and it's more long term? What if this? What if that? And then that's where you shoehorn faith. Work on code for 4 hours and fixing it, and it works. Those 30 seconds after are better than sex. Oh yeah, man. Like, that's where, but like, it's like, it's the unknown, right? It's like, if I don't know what tomorrow is gonna be, I'm not gonna fucking think about it, right? And that's easier for me than I know it is for others, right? Which is why I find it so difficult about, like, the whole, like, sexual shit and just, like, all that. Carpe those DMs. That's what I'm saying, Tucker. But it's like, that's the thing, right? Is that, like, I've been in that, that this is a perfect roundup, is that, like, you can see, like, every time I would fall into those holes, like, I knew that there's something behind this. There's something past this, right? Right? And you can't avoid those things. It's a part of life. It's a part of reproduction, like, it's what you need to do as, like, a species need to do, whatever. You can live the way you want to live. But the way I saw it is that, like, just whatever this is that I'm doing in this moment right now, and just shoehorning this little fucking moment of joy, is nothing compared to what is beyond the fog, right? And the reason I have that perspective is because of the other things I've done in my life that are completely unrelated, but one random day, it all makes sense. You don't know when, you don't know where, you don't know why, but it will. That's the thing, right? Like, Tuesday was one of my favorite streams we ever did. And it was like, it's the same thing as just, like, I'm in a very lucky position to be like, I love money. I love, like, what money can do for you, right? But the other thing is that, like, my relationship with money has been I've been putting it into question and just being like, okay, well, like, what am I doing this for, right? Like, again, like, I haven't traded in a while again. I like the process of doing it, but something pulls me away. And there's just something within that I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel that it's the way to my future anymore. And it's just like, well, how can you go? Like, I ask myself this, is like, well, how can you go further without something that can take you further? And the thing is that right now we live in a time where we're looking backwards to look forward, right? And every generation is guilty of this. Every single one. Your parents' generation, your parents' parents, their parents. Everyone's in the same loop of, like, we're trying to figure out what's next, right? And I think that you have no idea where it's coming from. You do not know where it's going to come from. You do not know what's going to happen. The only thing that you can really say or do is go after what makes you feel good, right? What makes you feel right as a person, right? And as much as I love, like, trading shit, I love knowing how it works. I love just, like, that little, like, pillar, because that's what it feels like compared to everything. Like, knowing how, like, the economy works is great. I'm really glad I have that, and it makes me really happy that I put the time in to learn it, and I'm really happy that I put the time in to experience it and express it. But the thing is that without even me really realizing that, it might have just moved on, right? And the thing is that, like, it could be literally anything, but for now it's streaming, right? And it's not just that like you're taking it seriously, it's that it feels right to me. Whatever right is to you, that's what it feels like. Whatever it is, because one, I have a support structure that is incredibly well supportive of what it is that I do. And I love everybody who's a part of it dearly. And then like I've 100% made more of an income off of streaming than I have off of trading. And like that's kind of like where I just again like I'll point out like where I put the like faith into some of these things is that like the reason I believe in something more than this is that like at least with trading and like work shit is that it always comes back around. It always came back around in some way or another. Every time I was at my lowest, every time I was at my highest, I came back to this middle point. Every single time, without fail, that would just be like, oh, well, I didn't lose any money, I didn't make any money. And it seems like that's like the natural progression is like if you're like I've noticed this with like some people who gamble actually, you know, like people who just throw a bunch of money into the system hoping to make some profit, and in reality like you're gonna make either such a minuscule amount, you're gonna break even, and if you have a gambling, only if you have like a really bad gambling addiction will you be really fucked. But like by the end of the day they always get their money back, but whatever. It's just like I don't know what tomorrow's gonna be. I don't know what the day after that's gonna be. On the 20th, I'm gonna watch a baseball game. And that's as far as it's going. I might go see my friends at the end of the month because there's a race weekend. I'd like to do that. But it's also just like, dude, the thing I keep thinking about is just like, again, I'm pretty sure it's just because of how close we are to Valentine's Day, and like all my friends are like starting to do the whole relationship thing. Like a lot of my single friends who are like, I mean, like they were single for like as long as I've been finding their girl, and I'm just like, oh shit, dude. And I'm just like fuck, I really want that, but I'm also just like I got to work on this, or like I'm subconsciously just putting my faith in God to just get me through this, because it is again more than it's indescribable, right? And it's everything that pulls me out and pulls me back into things, right? And one day like it'll all click, and I find peace in the it's like you kind of find peace in the unknown. At least I do. I find peace in just like I don't need to think about it. I don't need to feel like I'm not in control over my own destiny, right? You don't know what your destiny is. You don't know what your fate your path is. You have no fucking idea. So, it's always just the whatever happens next, man. Whatever fucking happens next, I'm for it. And there have been days where it's like it's been really difficult. Like I mean really difficult. Like a couple of weeks ago, like I was like fucking sick, dude. Like I was like I felt the worst I'd ever felt in years. and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And it's just like, you just fall through it, man. You just, like, that's literally, like, you don't, like, you're gonna wake up the next day, God willing. Like, seriously, like, you're not gonna die in your sleep for most of us. Like, you're gonna get through it. You know, I hate that saying you survived all of 100% of your worst days, but it's true. If you're still here, you have. And the thing is that, like, you don't know when your worst days are gonna happen. You don't know when your best days are gonna happen, but you do know that you're gonna get through it. And all I care about is just, like, I know that there's something more for me, right? The feeling I get when I look at a car that I really want, right? And for a lot of people, it could be different, but for me, it's always been something about cars just keeps drawing me back. The feeling of driving, the feeling of, like, one, it being mine, like a machine. Like, I think Jeremy Clarkson said it best, is that, like, some machines have souls, you know, and, like, just the way it makes you feel and you interact with it is something that is completely unique to that thing, right? And for some people, I've seen that it's watches or, like, old computers or, like, programming software. Like, there's always something that someone is attracted to that would confuse somebody else, right? And for me, that thing is cars. It will always be something along. Because the other thing is that, like, in my friend group, in my friend space, is that cars have always been a part of our lives. Driving has always been a part of our lives. Everything interacting with cars has been a part of our lives in one way or another. And I just would like to be a part of it in the way I feel like would make me the most me. So, and in that same mindset, like, that's how I compare it to everything I do. I am actually back. Hell yeah. That's all I'm trying to figure out, is, like, how to be the most me I can be. And a lot of it is completely out of my control. And that's okay. That's fine. It doesn't stress me out. It doesn't bother me. If anything, it gives me a bit of peace, because then I know the Tetris movie is so good. The Tetris movie is really good. I love the Tetris movie. I love the Tetris movie. But yeah, man, like, and knowing that, like, sure, like, if you go off of feelings and you go off the way you feel, you'll know what feels bad to you. You'll know what's self-destructive. You will. You will absolutely know what's not good for you. But I think the thing is to be open to those feelings and to be open to those experiences, because, you know, if you do it too much, you will become numb to it. I know that, you know, like, the whole thing about God is you have to be open to it. You have to be open about it. You have to let yourself give up. And that scares the shit out of a lot of people. But the thing is that when you have the experience of doing it yourself and pulling your own weight and trying to make every day count, when someone says fucking let go, oh dude, hell yeah, let me free from this fucking burden of me trying to figure it all out at once. Seriously, like, I think at the worst of it, I was trying to figure out, how am I going to become a millionaire? How am I going to get the house? How am I going to get the car collection? How am I going to get the girl? How am I going to get the family? All of these things, very big questions, very big tasks to one person, right? And there are some psychos out there who can do it, right? I'm not saying that there aren't, but those people are crazy. They are legitimately psychos, right? And it's just like, a lot of those things aren't you, if you think about it. It's like, whatever those big things are to you, like, you think those questions are, they're, I don't know, like, right, like, and, like, the thing that gives me peace, at least, is just, like, thinking that there is nothing in this world, there's nothing in this universe that is true to you. There's nothing that God can't control. right? And the thing about that is it's not like, oh, I pray for a meteor to hit the earth and kill everybody. It's not going to work like that. It's the the struggle is to build your faith. The faith is to keep you through for when the good times happen. Right? That's that's the part that like I feel like is kind of confusing to a lot of people, is that like the struggle is to build the faith. You build the faith, then it brings you, and then it will make it last through the good times, and then the struggle will begin again to strengthen you again. It's like it's literally like working out. It's another rep. It's another set. But then again, to try and quantify it is kind of not worth it. I mean, not just kind of not worth it. It really isn't worth it if you're trying to think about it in that space. And that's a really it makes the argument kind of annoying, because it's just like, I've thought about it. You know, you run arguments in your head. You have that argument, like you try spitting an argument in your shower bottles and while you're in the shower and your shower thoughts. And I'm like, that's the thing that is always like, as people, we always want to see like conflict. Always. They always want conflict. Even if it's talking about peace, love, and prosperity, all people care to see is conflict. Like, whenever I see like, I'll see this on Instagram like all the time. It's like, Christian absolutely owns atheist, and I'm like, you're missing the point. Like, it's not to have a debate. It's not to have an argument. It's to just let it go, dude. Like neither party gains anything from being right. No one gains anything by watching it and feeling good about themselves or feeling pissed off about themselves. Like, that's the shit that drives me crazy, man. Like, genuinely. I'm like, where, like, it's not an anger. It's not getting angry. It's not having a fight about it. It's just like, it's just, to me, it feels like, it's just like, it feels like people poison the good thing, you know? Like, and that's just how it goes, you know? That's how it goes, man. Like, you take a good thing and give it to enough people, they'll fucking ruin it, and they'll try and make it about them, and they'll do everything in their power to make that one really nice, good thing complete just dog shit, and that is just completely. I'm an atheist, and I know that the Christianity you often see online is a bastardized version. It is. It is completely. I think even because the thing about just religion in general, this is what I feel with my naive point of view, right? Is I do believe that there's something more than this. I do believe if you put faith into something, you will see something you have never seen before. You will experience things you will never experience without it. I genuinely believe these things. I believe if you're a good person, in the sense of that, like, you follow what's true to your heart and whatever you believe God is, right? Apart from, some things we'll get into in a minute, right? Is that, like, all three major religions, fucking Judaism, Christianity, and Muslim, or Islam, whatever, it doesn't matter. There are innate criticisms of all of them. All of them. Because the thing is that if you put your head in the perspective of what these people were in the time they were in, right? And if you take something like the Bible, as some stories are facts, some stories are stories, right? You just, like, I'm reading Psalms right now. It's 150 verses, or 150 chapters of little songs. And I shit you not, like the first like 40 of them are about I'm a good person. Why is good like give me God give me good things. I'm a good person. And it feels like a whiny baby being like, "Hey, I scratched your back, God. You can scratch mine." That's what it feels like. And it's like at the time they're like getting the shit kicked out of them by every other army, right? Not to change the and it's like I'm pretty sure I've read more of the Bible than a lot of these so-called Christians on the net. Yes, and you probably have. And it's just like the book before Psalms is Job. And Job is purely based on it purely describes suffering. And you don't know what God will give you. You don't know what God will treat you with. You don't know what outstretched hand he's going to give you, right? That's the point. You don't know. And you can and like that's since you don't know, it gives you the ability to freely question religion, right? That's the thing that like really pisses a lot of people off is that like even in sects of Christianity, like you are not supposed to question it. The whole reason Jesus was crucified was because he questioned it and he said he was the son of God. And it was just like we're seeing this again. It's this we just run through this cycle of just like you're not supposed to question it. Why not? It's really asinine. It's absolutely absurd. And the thing is that whenever you read about anything that God gives the Israelites or just gives his people, right? They forget to like in the Torah, right? They say like anybody who works on the Sabbath should be put to death and stoned. Like these are rules, right? These are old school rules. But even at the time, people were like, this is kind of ridiculous. You know, whoever wrote this and put this in it's like you should observe the Sabbath. The Sabbath is one of those things that it's like at the time that should take part in, right? But to be killed for it is ridiculous. You know, like if you are one of God's children, why the fuck would he want you dead? Why would he want you to be punished? And it was one of those things where it was just like, it's for you. Everything that happens to you is for you. Every celebration, every trial, every fucking anguish is for you. And that's the thing that like I feel like is completely missed as far as religion goes. Is that it's just it's all for you. And it's just like because those are the things that give me peace, right? It feels like the most consistent thing that I have seen about like just the way like when people who actually find God, who find Jesus in their life, they say it feels like a father. It feels like a loving, caring individual that loves you, right? That is like the universal feeling. And to a lot of the things that I've seen, it's like it's this look. It is a very specific look. It's really subtle and you can see it within their eyes that they saw something, they found something that absolutely fucked them up, right? It completely shook them to their core, right? And you don't need these big stories of grandeur of like a Satanist turning to Christianity. It's just like you can have just some dude who's just like living his life and then just suddenly like change the state of his mind, change thinking and think of like, you know, maybe there's something more than this, right? Maybe my 9 to 5 is not fucking it is not my goddamn destiny. You know, that happens to people all the time. But I think people get so afraid of even thinking about it. Like, who do you turn to? Who do you like? What you're gonna go to your rabbi, your priest, your whatever, like your spiritual leader of some kind, like what are you gonna do? They're gonna tell you their version of it because at the end of the day, they're still people. That's the thing that's so fucked up about it, is that you are alone with it, but you're not, because the person you should turn to is God, and you turn to God and you find answers. They're quiet, they're subtle, they're feelings, they're emotions, they're thoughts, they're things that people can't do for you. That's the thing, is that like your, like, at least for me, my core at least is, if I'm confused, if I feel like I'm struggling, if I feel like I'm failing, I want to run back to God, because I want to run back to something that makes me feel better. And it does. It makes me feel more complete. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel content. Like, all of these things that I would get maybe one of if I talk to a person about it, right? A decision I should make, you know? Like, if I can just run back to this one place, and sometimes you won't get an answer, right? And that is something that is also like, if you stick around long enough, then you will. It's a test of patience, you know? And I know that there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of confusing things. But I think they're just confusing because people bastardize them. I mean, there's how many different sects of Christianity? There's multiple different sects of Judaism. I mean, like, it's all there's so much, dude. Bro, skip the book tutorial, just be good. Don't do bad. And that's the thing, is that like, it's, as a core, it's really not that difficult to not be a dickhead. It really isn't that difficult. But the reason I like the book personally is that it's multiple books, right? It's multiple books wrapped into one thing, right? I think it's a good read, personally. I just think it's just like, I really like the Book of Job, right? I like it, and the Gospel of Matthew. Those two are like, you just kind of go like, shit, that perspective shift is kind of wild. And that's the thing, is like, those are the things that I take away from it. And I don't know. I feel like there's just a slight misguidance to just generalize people, and because I know I'm saying things that like a lot of Christians probably wouldn't agree with, or definitely like a lot of, but like, if you're in the position of just like feeling and letting it go, letting it in, letting it be a part of you, you will kind of see what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like I could talk to like some of my friends. Like, I feel like I could talk to my friends about it. Sure, like, it would be a little weird at the beginning in my mind, in my imagination, because I've never been a religious person. Wait until the book talk girlies find out the Bible is a good read. Oh God. The thing is they will never say it's a good book. The way, like, there's some fucked up things that happened in that book, man. That's the thing, is that like, if you don't like it I'm trying to think about it in a way that is like, don't worry, the book talk girlies will like the fucked up shit. They might not. I'm sure there's already one out there. I'm sure there's multiple out there, actually. But the thing is that I feel like one of the hardest things for me, at least, to get over was like, oh, it's just a book, right? It's just a collection of stories and whatever. But like, you get to the New Testament and you're just like, oh shit. Like that's kind of what happens. Because there's a huge difference in authors. Huge difference. Not to mention, like, I just really like history, and religious history is like some of the most fascinating that you'll ever read. It is just like, I was watching a video the other day that really kind of irritated me. It was just like lost religious artifacts, and they're like so fucking. People are so hellbent on the item, right? Of the Holy Grail, the fucking Staff of Ra, like all that shit, like fucking the Shroud of Turin and all this shit. And I'm like, you're missing the point. The point is like they're still items. It's just these are just things, you know? I don't know. It's kind of like it just irritates me that so many people like they believe it'll bring them divine power, like the Ark of the Covenant, and just like who cares? It's just like that's the thing. It's like who cares, man? They don't think about like maybe that this little wave of Christianity taking down the biggest empire in the known world at the time is, yeah. Like I love like that part to me like is it okay? Seriously, seriously, like no one like thinks of how big that is. Honestly, I need to do a deep dive into mythology at this point and have the autism urge fulfilled. Like the thing is that like when Jesus was alive, Augustus Caesar was alive. The king, like the emperor of Rome, one of the most powerful people to ever live. At the same time, probably like what 100 years before that, you had Alexander the Great. You had fucking Alexander the Great conquering all of the Middle East. Dies at 30. Cleopatra's around. Like you have all these really interesting people at the same time in history, like roughly like within 100 to 200 year period, which really is just like a fucking blink. That's only like 2 or 3 generations of people if you're living full lifetimes, right? And then like a couple 100 years before that, you have the 300 Spartans. It's like you have this huge wave of really interesting things. Something was in the waters in those years. It and the thing is that like okay, I do want to focus on like the like okay, you have this one man who was born in Nazareth, and 3 wise men, 3 kings, come to the king of Jerusalem, Herod, and go, "Where is the new king of Jerusalem?" And he's like, "I'm the king of Jerusalem." And he's like, "No, we're looking for a baby." And had every child in Jerusalem under the age of 2 be executed. And this is a documented thing. Like this happened. Like he killed every child under the age of 2. It was a fucking incredibly vile thing that he did, and there's a history of it. So we know that happened, right? And Jesus fled with his family to Egypt and grew up there. For most of his early years, he grew up in Egypt, and then he slowly moved back towards Nazareth. And while all this is happening, you have Augustus Caesar ruling over Rome with an iron fist, basically God. You have this whole pantheon of fucking gods, too many to name. And then you have something similar going on in Greece, where they've had their fucking renaissance, right? They have their own version of gods. You have fucking Egypt, which still has their own version of God. You have all these little sects and kingdoms that are just like all so tightly grouped together. But that focal point of Jerusalem is still there. Something about that little plot of dirt is so fascinating because it's just like so much came to a head right there. And then fast forward, like we know that Pontius Pilate executed Jesus on the via crucifixion. We know this. We have multiple different sources that say that happened, right? From Roman and Jewish historians. We know it happened. And then what happens after the crucifixion is the shocking part, I think. Because it's like, forget the miracles, right? For like the things that built, like people saw, like personally, it's one of those things where it's like, if you saw it, right? We're rational people. If there was someone you knew for your entire life, a cripple, right? In a wheelchair, their entire life, and one day this dude walks up to them and just rests his hand on his shoulder, and that motherfucker gets up out of that chair. You're thinking two things. You're thinking, who the fuck is this guy? And has this guy been fucking with me his entire life? And then you follow this person, right? This is and then goes to other people who have been blind for their entire lives, who have been crippled their entire lives, and they see again. And they stand again. You would be pretty fucking floored, right? Because I think about it in the terms of like our vision now, right? You know, like you would be pretty fucking floored by something like that. I know I would be. I would just be like, how, you know, like, but at the time, it was one of those things where it's like, it was normal. That was like a normal, air quote, normal thing, right? People believed in witchcraft, and there was I can't remember the name. There's a Jewish historian who, when he was writing about what Jesus did with his miracles, he's like, oh, he was from Egypt. Of course he did that. Every Egyptian knows magic. That was just something they believed. That was genuinely something they thought. They were like, oh, of course he did magic. Every Egyptian kid knows magic. Who cares? Like, but nowadays we're like, magic is for charlatans, and it's just they're trying to trick you. I don't know. I just find it, as a historical thing, I find it incredibly fascinating. Because then, after the crucifixion of Jesus, roams and teaches for 40 days and then vanishes, never to be seen again. And that fucking wave toppled one of the reasons that it took control over the biggest superpower the world had ever seen. Like, to one, like, okay, overthrow what essentially is a kingdom, an empire, is amazing. It's incredible. It's something that, like, we're not going to see again for like hundreds of years, right? And then you dethrone their gods. Like the reason we don't believe in like paganism anymore. We don't even think about Mars, Jupiter in the way that we think of like them as gods. We see them as planets. They're not gods. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I find it incredibly fascinating. Incredibly fascinating. Like you can blow up religion to like this extreme picture that is so intricate and detailed that it would take you years, decades, lifetimes to fully plot it out. But then you can shrink it down to a single person and what it means to them. And that's what's so fascinating about it. That's what I find so I find it fascinating that a lot of religions and mythologies are intertwined. Exactly. Okay, you want to know what I really thought was really interesting? Is there's a guy on YouTube called Wes Huff who is a biblical historian, and he translates ancient text. The thing that I found the most interesting, there was an argument that I heard like years ago when I had no belief system whatsoever, is that it was if you destroyed every piece of religious text ever, it wouldn't come back the same way. The thing that I found really interesting is that when we discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are like, thousands of years old, we matched them almost word for word to a text that was written in the 1300s. Or like they copied it almost word for word to a text that our previous oldest version was like 1,000 years old. The Dead Sea Scrolls are 2,000 years old. So for it to be word for word over 1,000 years is insane. Dude, I couldn't tell you the plot to the movie I saw yesterday, word for word. I couldn't tell you what I had fucking for breakfast 3 days ago. To say that, like, you matched it word for word in its entirety. These texts that are written in a dead language is absolutely astounding. Like, to think about like how much stories get perverted and bastardized and just twisted with time, to have these stories stay the same is insane. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. I think the craziest thing is we still don't even fully understand what we still barely know what Aramaic is. We don't know what it sounded like. We don't know what it's like. We think we know. People think they know how to read it, but a lot like it is. I'm just like I find it incredibly fascinating. Just taken at a surface value. And then like I think back, like you think like later down the line, like there's stories of Vikings who find out about Jesus and they find out about Christianity. And there's a story, I forgot who read it. There's a story of a sect of Vikings who got into a fight with each other because they believe they fought with each other like a fist fight because they thought they could have saved him. They thought they could have saved Jesus. They were fighting each other because they should have been there. And they weren't. And it's crazy how fast they dropped it. It's crazy how fast they how fast they drop, whatever like Viking activities. Like can you imagine like you've been born and raised on this Nordic gods, right? And then you find out about a guy who loved you unconditionally. He was alive. He was closer, like in time wise. Jesus was closer to the Vikings than we are to Jesus, right? And you hear these stories and they floor you to the point where you get into a fight with your other brothers and you drop your North gods for someone who, at the time, I remember, like there were. At the time, like I feel like Vikings in general, like there are stories of like them making fun of Christianity because your God, like they would say like, well, your God is dead, like why do you pray to a dead man? Why do you pray to a dead God? It's like our gods are strong. Our gods are perfect in every way. They grant us victory. Why do you pray to a dead man? Like, just that question to them was so interesting. It fucked them up. You know, it's like, why do these people pray to dead men? And then they start reading and getting into it, and you're just like, oh shit, man. Like, he took on Rome. He took on the biggest empire that they'd ever seen. Off topic, but Soviet architecture kind of goes hard. It does. No, it does. Brutalist architecture goes kind of hard. I just wish they would do more colors. I just am like, the grays are. I would love to see what Soviet countries could do if they experimented with more colors other than gray and red. Because I feel like every video and picture, Soviet brutalist goes hard. Modern brutalist is kind of mid. Modern brutalist is mid because it's just pyramids and shit. It's giant stone rectangles. They're not very good. It's not even Art Deco. Like, anyway, but like, just kind of round it out. Like, I just think this whole topic is so fascinating. It's so hard to find. That's the other thing, dude. It is so hard to find a good piece of media that encapsulates that time period perfectly, or just like to what I imagine it would have felt like, right? I was watching Barbarians, right, on Netflix, and that first episode is really interesting, and I love the lengths they go to, because they're Germanic tribes. They speak German. The Romans speak Latin. And in the show, the Romans speak Latin. The Germans speak German. It's a very, like, it's one of those cultural things, right? Like, this is a boundary and a barrier they would have run into, right? And those little details, like, just because it's historical in a way doesn't mean it has to be dog shit. Right? Like, history is interesting, dude. Like, history can be so fucking interesting. I just don't understand. Like, why does history need to be twisted for Hollywood purposes, you know? I don't know. Because I just think, like, make them speak. Like, I want to get to the day where it's like entertainment and history are intertwined, and it's like you can. It's like, yeah, it's not for everybody to like have people speak a dead language or like a language no one understands, but it's like to the people like me who like really like it when they go that extra length. I'm like, damn, dude, that shit's good. But the thing about Barbarians is that it just falls apart, you know? Like, it just absolutely, like, to put it into perspective, if you've never seen it, there's a black woman on the cover of season 2. Germanic tribe. German. Northeastern Europe. Like, did they have female soldiers? Did they have female fighters? Yes! Yes, they did. But they were fair-skinned. They were white. Like, the whole, and it was the same thing with like that whole Cleopatra bullshit, where it was like Cleopatra was black, and I'm like, she was Greek. She was Greek. She had red hair. She spoke Greek. Even Egyptians at the time were like fair skinned. Go to Egypt. It's so stupid. It's like, that's the thing, is that like you sound racist talking about it and like arguing about it. Hollywood pushing woke agendas yet again. It's like, dude, it's just the same thing as like, there's different skin colors for white people. There's different skin colors for fucking Asian people. There's different skin colors for fucking Arab people. Everyone looks different. There's a fucking spectrum, right? It's just like, oh, we need to make Cleopatra like the darkest skin color. And it's just like, she was fucking Greek, dude. Like, Greeks were fucking blonde. They were. She should have been olive tan. Exactly. And then it's like you would get crucified for fucking saying that. And it's like it's true though. Like Egyptians were like a deeper like dark like olive skin. Like you know, like if you look at Egyptians now, like that's their skin color. That's just what it is. It's a fact. It's not. I just think it's so fucking stupid. It's just like you don't need to change. It's bastardizing history in any way should be a crime. I agree, dude. It should be because it's so interesting. There are so many stories in history. Like we still don't know who the fucking sea people were. To point out one, right? We have no idea what it's like. Egypt was toppled by, quote, the sea people. We don't know who they were. We don't know exactly how old Egypt is. We don't know when it started. We know that at one point Northern Africa was a lush, dense rainforest. Where'd it go? What happened? What went on in China? That's the other thing is that like we all know about like Roman and like just like East or just European history. It's like what the fuck happened to China? Like what was going on down there? Like 100 like they're like during like the time of Christ, like, they were fucking they had emperors and shit. They were doing their own thing. We know so little. But the thing it's like Babylon would be sick to know more about. Dude, it the fire the great fire of Alexandria, the fucking the destruction of Rhodes. What about a story? What about a fucking series of the 7 old ancient wonders and what happened to them? You know? Hold on. What were the 7 ancient wonders of the world? The Great Pyramid of Giza, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Statue of Zeus, the Temple of Artemis, the Mausoleum at Helicarnassus, the Colossus of Rhodes, and the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Like, we know the Pyramid of Giza is still there. It's not like just because the British can't take stone by stone, it's still there, thankfully. But like, what happened? Like the Colossus of Rhodes, the Statue of Zeus. Like the Statue of Zeus, I think the only thing that's left is like a foot. There's nothing left of the Colossus of Rhodes. We don't even know where it was. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. No one knows where it went. Yo. I would love to know more about shit like that. Like I find the Colossus of Rhodes to be insanely fascinating. It was the biggest. It was what? Like it was like 100 feet higher than the Statue of Liberty. It was the biggest statue by modern standards. It was massive. And it was made almost entirely out of bronze. I was watching Azura's Wrath. And then one day, it's like it stood for like what, like maybe 100 years, and then the Colossus was toppled, and they used all. Know it? No, I don't. So interesting. It's such an interesting time, and all of this happened within the span of like a couple 100 years. Like there's no. It's like that's the thing, right? There are so few creative people, like genuinely creative people in the world, where they can make a story so intricate, so detailed, so fascinating that it would pale in comparison to what's happened in history. There's an anime game which is basically God of War and Dragon Ball combined. Ah, doesn't sound like I'd like it. I've been really falling out of anime recently. It just hasn't been doing it for me. I've just been falling out of TV in general. Like I just can't find a story that I'm like really enthralled with. I've been struggling to just find media in general that I'm like, oh, this is sick. This is great. Like this is a really good story. I want to know more. What's up, my homies from a different mommies? You're late. That sounds weird in English. Yes, sir. Brother from another mother. But yeah, man, like I I just hate that people get so fascinated by like items and it's just like not the story behind it. Like I don't know. We're kind of we're just going with the natural flow of things at the moment. All I know is I want my cars, I want my house, I want the family. I don't know. I've been on this wave where I've just been feeling. We're just feeling, you know. Give me 2 vertical blocks for cooked chicken. Dude, the Minecraft movie looks like it's gonna suck. But again, was anyone really surprised? Uh, I love that we can just sit and chat for like an hour plus. Like I can just keep talking, talking, talking. You don't mean IRL? Of course not. He's talking about Minecraft. In Minecraft. Wow, really? Nor do I have time to. I understand. Man, you missed out. Minecraft's a hell of a game that Microsoft is bastardizing and exploiting for every dollar it can get. Peak Minecraft is 112.2. Change my mind. You ever be talking with people and you don't want to talk to? Oh yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It is one of my personal hells. Uh, Thankfully, I haven't had one of those situations in a while. Good to know I'm not alone in that. Oh, absolutely not. That is one of the most unique. That is one of the most, I feel, common human experiences that you can have. I like talking to y'all, though. Yay! I like talking to y'all, too. Peak Minecraft was 1.7. I just like to build stuff in Minecraft. We're a ways away from the next Minecraft wave. I was thinking about it the other day. I've just been really, like... I've been just kind of going with the flow, man. We started with War Thunder today, but nah, like I'm like, I just want to talk. I just want to, like, chit-chat, do me. Hi Asher. You know what I mean? 112 because it has the most modding options. I've still yet to play modded Minecraft. That is the thing. I never got into modding Minecraft. It was never something I understood as a kid, at least. But what was I gonna say? I completely forgot. This is why I like shiny hunting, dude. Like, I feel like I'm just chatting, but like something's going on in the background, and if something crazy happens, like we're doing it. Did you see the home events? That's exciting. No, I did not. I don't really keep up with any Pokemon stuff or Nintendo shit anymore. It's all noise. It's all noise. It doesn't make any sense. It's all... I just want... It's just like, dude, I'm too old for... I'm getting too old for this shit, man. It's like they... I found out yesterday that there was like a Sony Play or whatever. I didn't follow anything game related at all anymore. I don't either. I never really... Like, to be fair, I never really followed anything gaming related. Like, I never really followed anything gaming related. And it's just false promises, dude. It's all it is. Pack opening time. It's just like, dude, they're doing events for Shiny Meltan, Enamorous, Manaphy, and Keldeo. Oh, I did a 10 poll. Would you rather be French or from Belgium? I'd rather be from Belgium. No one wants to be French. What? Rather be dead. Got full art evolution of Rhydon. Nice. But you'd have beef with all the Netherlands. I don't understand geological beef. I got full art ditto. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I've been getting screwed on my pack pulls, dude. I swear. Belgium is just a ripoff of the Netherlands and France. But only the worst parts of the Netherlands. Got a crown rare Palkia and France. I just don't get, like, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm American. Like, we hate, like, political stances. We don't hate, like, other fucking states, but we hate nations. Meaning there's a legit shiny Keldeo. Saw your full art Palkia. Eee. I need to get a full art Dialga, dude. I want that full art Giratina, man. That shit goes hard. Max knows how my polls have been going. From the surface, it seems like yours are getting better than mine. I can't open my next pack till midnight. I got the fucking animated Palkia and the animated Charizard. Bastard. So what would you do if you close the game when you encounter a shiny? Oh, I've done that. You have to start all over again. Yeah. It's the worst feeling in gaming. If you could even call this gaming. Got the animated Mewtwo, Pikachu, Charizard, and Celebi. Don't you just wanna not exist? Oh, sometimes, absolutely. At that point, I've done it. I've done it before. I have hard closed the game while getting a shiny, and it is gut wrenching. It sucks. So it wouldn't be the first time. Thankfully, this shiny is really noticeable. Like, insanely noticeable. It goes from white to dark brown. And I've gotten a god. I have gotten one god pack. And they gave me 2 full art fucking goddamn blues. Never gotten a god pack. Calling opening and closing a game gaming is indeed a shaky ground. It's fucking this is not gaming, dude. This ain't fucking gaming. This is agony. God pack is a 1 in 2,000 pack. Sounds like I need to get another one. What can I pull from my like wonder pull? Anything decent? I have so many of these stupid fucking hourglass tokens. You're talking to the guy who's opened like 50 packs and gotten a god pack and 2 animated full arts. Crown rare equals god pack rarity. Oh, hell yeah! I got the Rhyperior. Fuck you. Requirements are home, dude. Completion. So I'm getting entire dexes just for the home dex entries. You got the full art Rhyperior too. I pulled it out of your fucking wonder pick. I love Rhyperior. Rhyperior goes hard. God Pack and Crown Rare are 1 2000. I love the Sinnoh. I love the Sinnoh Evos. Electivire, Magmortar, and Rhyperior were like my fucking 3. Like they were so sick. Meeting yesterday in just 4 hours, I did 3 of 5 dexes. Pokemon is just like Wallace has been telling me about. He's been getting back into like actually buying Pokemon cards, and apparently it is just a fucking nightmare right now. Like you cannot find any Pokemon cards anywhere. Full art EVs, like evolutions, are like going for big money right now. Like a full art Umbreon is worth like $1,500 right now, which is insane. And why go for full art? I just hate how like people will see a hobby, see it make someone a little bit of money, and then they just blow it up like complete, and it just ruins the hobby for everybody who actually like wants to take part in it. It's the same thing with baseball cards, dude. It's fucking annoying. And people are like, because dude, it's like winning the fucking lottery, man. It's just like it's like I gotta get it. I gotta get these cards, man. Even though it literally means nothing. It means fucking nothing. Like, people are so desperate to make money off of just a stupid hobby, and it completely destroys the point. Like, money is like, you think scalpers sit down to family dinner, get asked why they do what they do for work, and they deeply fucking embarrassed when they scalp Pokemon cards. There should be a level of shame, absolutely, because you're doing something really stupid. You're doing something really childish. Like I follow baseball, I follow sports. They sold like baseball, like fucking baseball cards, dude. Like they don't do anything. They just have stats and shit on the back of them. Like first edition like rookie cards of like famous players sell for like thousands of dollars. And it's just like, dude, it's just a man, it's just a guy. You can go meet him. You can go meet the guy. Like he's not dead. And like Pokemon cards, it's like at first people were like, "Oh, they're valuable because people use them in tournaments." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. There's an actual need to the value of these things." Which makes sense, you know? It's like, "Oh, you know, like, oh, I bought this Charizard for like back in like 2013 for $1,000 because I really need it for a tournament." Pulled the non-EX Cresselia. I have a full art Cresselia. But like, dude, it's like if that's what you do for work, and like there's a lot of people who do that. I mean, like my uncle did like eBay flipping for a job, and like that shit's so stupid. I'm just like, I one, it's stressful as hell. It is stressful as hell to like do that because if you get burnt, it's like, dude, just be a car salesman at that point. It's true. Celebrities do shit for money. You would be shocked how easy it is to meet them. My thing, okay, the thing with me, like, okay, if any one of you fuckers goes to LA and you're like, I want to meet one celebrity, you can meet any celebrity you want as long as you're okay with it being Jay Leno. You will literally see Jay Leno anywhere. Anywhere. And it's just like most people don't even know who, like, oh, dead or alive, Juice World, I don't care. It's like, if you come to LA, there's a really, really high chance that you'll see Jay Leno. Anybody else, I can't guarantee, but Jay Leno has a routine. Like, he has, like, a loop he does. And he does it every single day. And you can see him, like, Burbank, like, in like, the city of Burbank from, like, the hours of, like, 4 to 5 in the evening because he'll be driving home. Or you go to a comedy club and see him. He does fucking shows every day. Like, he's everywhere. Like, don't do those stupid star tours. Like, those are fucking retarded. I feel like most celebrities don't even really live in LA anymore. I feel like they all have places just outside. It's like, dude, they make so much fucking money. Like, all I know, dude, is that if I had the amount of money they had, if I ever go to America, I'm going to Redacted and Finding Your Ass. I hope to be gone by that time. I don't want to stay where I am forever. I really don't. I don't like it here very much. It's not bad. I just don't like it. I just it's not the move. I've always had a dream of I've wanted to have a view of the ocean, like very desperately. I have very desperately wanted to have a view of the ocean. And like no neighbor, like preferably like no neighbors with a good chunk of land, like that whole thing. I'm in a country area of Canada. It's nice here. That's good. Oh. Yeah, Max lives on a new house ocean thing. See, it's like I want like expensive things. I think I want expensive things. I really wanted to just like. It sucks because a lot of the houses I think that I was looking at as far as like on Zillow, I think are burned. I think they got set on fire because of this last fire season. My country, they developed something that is a house upon it to live on while it's on water. Oh, like a houseboat. See, it's like I don't want to live on the water. I just want a view. Like I want a distant view of the ocean. I don't want to live like on the beach. I just want to I just want to see the ocean. It's peaceful, you know. You should yearn to be at peace. And that's the thing, right? I'm definitely not at peace yet. Oh, fuck no. I'm closer though, but I'm not at peace yet. Max would vibe in a small Italian town. I don't know. I don't like cramped spaces. I don't like being too close. I really don't like being close to like people I live with. I've done that. If I could just like have a space, like a little ranch or something, just a little like plot of land with a nice enough house, and like a small town is like a fucking 10 to 15 minute drive, I would. The annoying thing is that whenever I think about moving, whenever I think about like places to live in the future, people use capture cards to RNG manip BDSP and get legendary shiny in 3 minutes. Check DMs. But like, dude, like the thing that keeps me staying here is my friends. And I know one of like because he's told me a couple times that he doesn't want to stay in California. He absolutely hates living in California. California does suck. The politics absolutely ruin like the beautiful landscape that it is. The people ruin it. It's a real shame. It is a real shame. Oh, dude, fuck those. I don't want to live anywhere near one of that shit looks sketchy. See, it's like that's the thing. I don't want to live on the water. I want to view it. I don't want to be near it. Oh my god, dude. There's a PG&E power plant in California that is on the nicest plot of land you will ever see in your entire life. Hold on. Look at this place. Hold on, I'm pulling up a picture. It's right on the ocean. It's in like middle Southern California. Where's a good picture of it from? Like, there's a trail that you can view down into it. It's fucking gorgeous. Like, it is the most pristine land you will ever see in your entire life. Yeah, look at that. All of this is private land, and there's more of it. There's so much more of it. It's all private land owned by PG&E, and it's completely blocked off to the public. You cannot go here. There's one trail, one. They own from like basically this mountain and then like all the way past this point. It's crazy how fucking like big this place is. Oh, this is from the trail. This is from the trail looking down. Like, look at that, dude. Can you imagine what that real estate is worth? I mean, it must be worth millions, like billions even. It's crazy. You're lucky. You already live where you want to live. That you're in a good spot. I very much do not live where I want to live. I have never felt that I've been at home. That's the thing that drives me crazy. I've never felt it. Never felt like I've been like home in the sense of like a geographical location. I really yearn for, because it's like I don't know if I want a cottage either, like a lakeside cottage, because because people who like I've met people who live there and they live like cunts. Like, they're awful. It's like I can't even think about it because it's like it gets so sporadic. Remember, like we had that faith talk earlier. It's this, it falls in line with that. Like, there's something, like there's a picture of I can imagine, but it's like God tells me that it's like it is better than you can ever imagine, and it's just like there's no way that I can get a picture in my head that would attach to that feeling. Like, I get the gist of it, but it's never quite there. Like, I don't like where I live now. I don't know if I want to stay in California. I mean, I think I do. I probably will, because like all my friends are here. But I might move like somewhere like middle California, like northern. I don't know if I would go full northern, but like I want to stay close enough to the point where it's like it's not that bad of a drive. Because like I don't know what I'd do without my fellas. I hate being away from them. Like, I'm already, it's like I'm close enough to my family, but like it's like I don't outright hate the place where I live, but it's not like I'm not thrilled with like the quality of the room. It's very 80s and very brown. You'll make it big enough where you can fly anywhere anytime you want. I always feel so happy when you guys say that. Like, and I know that it comes from a genuine place. And I believe it, dude. I do. I really fucking do. Because it's just like, what else is there, you know? Like, if you're not shooting for the fucking moon here, like, I'm gonna blow the moon up. Fuck it. Like, I wanna give it everything I've got. But we're going like we're going at like that nice steady trudge, you know. One view at a time, one video at a time, one stream at a time. You just never know, dude. You have no idea. I'm going to buy a house in Ireland. Why would I want to live in Ireland? I ain't never moving anywhere near the area. I'm getting an Italian villa if I have to get anything outside of the U.S. I'm getting a fucking Italian villa, like, so, like... Not Italy. Why the hell not? It's douchey. As a duchy. Oh my god. Max is gonna buy a Soviet apartment block in Latvia. Oh yeah, that's what we need. Italians can't drive for shit. Corrupt over there, mafia everywhere. The air here is so much cleaner than the city I'm originally from. I got sick from my body detoxing. Oh yeah. Dude, I haven't... The air in my area is so bad. Italian infrastructure is shit. Compared to American infrastructure? Probably compared to Dutch infrastructure, I'd agree with you, but American infrastructure is not fucking great. The air quality here is so bad, dude. It's so bad. Igloo in the south? Yeah, okay. Y'all house made from paper sheets. I don't know. Like, I just need... I'm gonna take some time when that time comes around. But you can't drink water from the tap in Italy. Awful to me. Mafia never stopped existing and probably never will. Like, gonna life in Vietnam. Even I can do that. Well, yeah, all their plumbing is like thousands of years old. Max gonna pull an ABG baddie. At this point, I'll take. I believe. You know, we'll get someone. We'll get someone. You'll be the first to know. You'll be the first to know. But the Netherlands superior when it comes to water. If I had to say, like, if I had to get a house, like, the place that, as an American, right, with my American perspective, where I would like to get a place is, like, south of France, near Monaco, like, on the border of Monaco. Not quite in Monaco, but, like, really expensive plot of land. Italy. And a Scandinavian country, like Finland, Sweden, like just one of those places. You want to live in France? Poland uses shellfish to control their water purity. Beat that. What's wrong with you? Have you seen the south of France, bro? Like, I'm talking like the furthest point of France. Like, we fought a war against water and won. Max, come live here. It's gonna be way cheaper. I don't want cheaper. I want quality. Right? I've done cheap, bro. I'm not doing cheap ever again. Fuck that. Absolutely fuck that. If you've had cheap living, shitty cheap living, given, I haven't had it like as bad as like homeless people, but it was pretty bad. Bugs everywhere. Bed bugs. The water was cold. You couldn't fucking, like, the water pressure was shit. You couldn't do dishes. Like, you couldn't do dishes and take a shower at the same time. Like, you get a Soviet quality, buy old. And that shit is gonna last. Come over here to Canada. We got a nice country. We could drain the North Sea if we wanted to, matter of fact. We've made multiple plans for it. At the core, though, is that, like, I think about it, I'm like, I want to be left alone, but I'm not too sure if that's true or not. Like, I want to be with my fellas, all right? It's gonna partially be my job later. Max craves for a house in the woods in Latvia. Definitely not in the woods. I want it on a hill. Like I want it like on a hill that overlooks the ocean, right? Like full on like evil villain house. Like no one around, just locked down like hangar. We got woods that overlook the sea. Oh, I just want a home. I want a home. I say I just want, but I'm like, dude, I want so much. I want so much out of life. And I believe we're going to get it. I just, like, I don't know when. But I think that it's like, if I had to quantify anything to, like, what it is I want exactly, like, I want a kid. I want the family life. Probably more than the house. I still want and I want, like, the cars and shit. I would say, like, the house, if I had to, like, the family is numero uno, cars, and then like the exact house I would want. Want to live in a nice house in a town with a big garden, a dog, a big aquarium, a wife with a beautiful and pure soul that would support me, and two kiddos running around playing football with me. That's the dream. I'm afraid I won't get to live that though. You're too young to be afraid of that. Because the thing is that like you're totally justified in your fear, because I fear it too. But there's no point in being afraid. At least like that's like I'm being blunt about it. Like we talked about faith earlier, we talk about belief, we talk about just like you suck. Oh man. And again, like it's all about being true to you. It's all about being the best version of yourself you could possibly be. I know that my life is going to be weird. My life has been weird. It's been inconsistent. It's been fucking all over the place. We love you too, and we wish the best for your soul. Watcher's my sugar daddy. But yeah, man, like, dude, there's a life beyond comprehension for all of us. Never call me that again. Oh, that's the thing. Like, for any amount of work you put into something, like, there's something down the line that is so much more. I just want to make the most out of this life. I want to do the best I can. I want to live the best I can. I want to make the people around me better. I want to make the people around me happy. Like, kind of do the family thing in a way that should have been, in my opinion, should have been done with me, but it wasn't, and all that shit. But, you know. And I fully believe that it's coming. I fully believe that it's going to happen. I think right now, at least, if I had to say, like, I'm in a time of patience. I'm in a time of working on myself, a time of healing, and that could be anything from like physically to emotionally. You seem like a vengeful spirit. I wish the best for you. May life lead you to a happy soul and a happy life where you can forgive without a problem and let go of whatever bothers you most. Watcher's a chill cat. He's a little guy. But like, and I almost completely forgot the tangent I'm on. But like, dude, the thing is that people, I don't feel like, at least in my opinion, I don't feel like there's enough. I'm gonna eat post show. I'm just a chill little guy. Boom for the road. I feel though that there's not enough hope, faith, passion. You know, when you see somebody with passion on the internet doing something they genuinely love, doesn't it just like spark something in you? You're like, yeah, yeah. Like you're not doing it for a job. You're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because you actually really, really, really like it. You know what I mean? Whenever I see people like that, and they're so rare, it's so rare. It's that light in their eye, the domination of their craft. Like, whenever I see, and it's like, then you'll see the equal side of that of like, artist sells invisible sculpture for $17,000, and you're just like, and that's the shit that gets headlines, not the guy who spent 45 fucking years hand chiseling his own like fucking statue out of marble, out of his own dime. You'll never see it. It doesn't get clicks. It doesn't get views. It doesn't, and that's all that people give a shit about, or like that's all corporations think about. And I hate to take that stance of like, oh, corporate greed, because I like money. I like making money. I like the idea. I like the concept of what money can do for you. Everyone does. It's how we live, but it shouldn't be the main power in your life. Money is a tool. Money's always going to be a tool. You can't eat it, you can't wear it. Like, it's the same thing. It's like if you were on a deserted island and only had if you had $100 million on a deserted island, it wouldn't do you shit. You'd use it as fucking fire. You'd use it as fuel for your fire. Money makes the world turn. Money makes the world burn. We're a greedy people. We are just a greedy breed. And that's okay. That's the thing. Let me just say that. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the pursuit of money. There are footholes, though, that you will fall into that will lead you down a path of of just like absolute hell. You think that, right? Like, okay, here's the thing, right? I'm in the middle of it, right? I've never worked a real job. I dropped out of high school. It doesn't change how people view me. It doesn't change how people love me. Money didn't make people like me more or less. Lack of money doesn't make me loved more or less. The opinions of others is all that like the love and care of the people you care about is all that matters. I know it's like you can't feed your baby with that. You can't feed yourself with that, but to be in a position where you can believe that, like, hey, if the people around me love me and care about me, I have faith that something down that line will be worth it, right? And it will be out of my control, right? That's all that matters. It's a hard thing. It's a hard pill to swallow. And a lot of people are not in a position where they can accept something like that, where they have to work, they have to push, they have to grind to get what they want. I meant as in you need to get food, housing, clothes, transport, etc. You can. Yes, I do see that, right? And it's a rare position to be in a position you can't buy love, appreciation. And I hate to say it, like when people is like, oh, money won't buy you happiness, it technically won't. And it's like it's the happiness and peace of others, right? I can guarantee you that you may not like it, but like the billionaire who seems like he has everything he could ever want is living some kind of struggle, right? And it's just like, oh, what kind of fucking struggle could they be living in? They have everything they could ever want. And it's like, exactly, they have everything they could ever want. What does the person who has everything get? Nothing. They'll never get anything. Everything they get will be put into question. If you are a rational human being, everything you receive, if you have everything, will be put into question. Money only makes you happy to a certain point. It makes you comfortable, and yes, there is peace and happiness within that. And knowing that you can like go out and buy food whenever you want, go and buy that new thing you want. There is a limit though, because here's the thing, right? I like to imagine that I'm talking out of experience, right? I have not had a lot of money in my life at any point, right? The only things that I can imagine that I really truly want with $1 are really expensive things like cars and a home. I won't say homes. Certain market startups making you happy. And the thing is that when I go to buy my first car, right? It's not the money that made me happy. It's not even the purchase process of buying the vehicle. It's the item itself. And the thing is that like you can like for people who don't quite get like the whole thing about cars and just like an item in general, it's what it makes me feel when I think about it and want to be a part of it. It's that. That's what I'm after. And somewhere in between, money does find a way in, right? Which is frustrating. We all want to live fucking kumbaya and like never have to worry about money. It would make life so much easier. At least we think it would. But it doesn't work like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think just rediscovering where you lie with money is really important. I think finding your balance with money, with what money is, it's like, again, like I fully believe it's a tool. It's always going to be a tool. It's never not going to mean anything. And being honest, I'm just happy I can end up buying a home and a car, get a wife, kid, and live life. Exactly. And I think that, like, that's the thing that I find really interesting about our little community here is that, like, dude, we all want the same thing. We all want the same thing, regardless of what social media tells you. Everyone wants the same thing. They're like, I want multiple women, I want multiple cars, I want multiple houses, like, you know, like the excess, right? Like you see it all the time on Instagram and like Facebook and shit. But at the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing. There are a small portion of people who don't quite get it, right? I know some people that are purely after the bag, but they're not bad people. They're just after the bag, and they've been after the bag their entire life. And I can't help but think of what would they do if they weren't chasing the dollar the entire time, you know? You don't need multiple women, you don't need more than 2 cars, and you don't need a ton of bling. The thing about it's like the cars is the one thing I find interesting because people like a collection. I think as a person, you kind of have like this innate attraction to something, right? And for some people it's watches, for some people it's jewelry, for some people it's art, for some people it's literally like doomsday prepping. Like some people, in America, there's a lot of people who do it with guns, you know, like clothes, shoes. And for me, it's cars. It's always going to be cars. It's like shocker to no one. Like we're still talking about it. And I like them as what they make me feel, right? And I think that's something that a lot of people can... I'd love to have a collection of Warhammer 40k miniatures and Star Wars Legos. Exactly. See, like, everyone has that thing. And no one should give you shit for it. Unless it's actually hurting people. Like, your collection is like a bunch of drugs and you hand them out for free to people and then you're a psycho. But, like, yeah, like Legos, miniatures, model cars, model airplanes, shit like that. Like, that is totally justifiable, and it makes you happy. Those things make you happy. And sure, like, there may be an extent of, like, oh, maybe, like, one day I'll buy my last Lego. Yeah, I think about it in terms of, like, one day I'll buy my last car. Absolutely. Absolutely. One day is gonna one day may happen sooner than I imagine that I'll buy my last thing. Not because I die or anything, but just because I'm bored of it. You know, like I've acquired everything that I've wanted to acquire, and each thing that I've acquired makes me feel a different way. That's the point. It's like you're in life. I feel you are collecting emotions. You are collecting experiences. That's the point of living, is to collect, and that's okay. And then when you die, you let it go to someone else, right? That's the thing. Like when I die, like, and I have my collection of cars, and I have my collection of finances and whatever. Like, I don't know where it's gonna go. I might donate to a museum. Like, I've thought about it. I'm like, if I had a good enough car collection, I'd just donate it to like a museum or something. If anyone who's willing to take it. I don't know if I'd give it to my kid if they really loved it that much. If they loved it as much as I did, then I'd probably like give them maybe one or two of them. I don't know if I'd give them a whole collection because I want them to work. Like, I would want them personally to fucking like work for the thing that I found so much joy in. If they truly have a joy in it, they will attach themselves to it, right? Like, they will figure a way out to get it, right? That's the beauty of collection. Like, that's the beauty of finding something that you're really truly passionate about. Like, same thing. It's like my kid just is like, hey, Dad, I'm into art. I want to be a painter. I want to be a sculptor. I'm like, fucking do it, dude. Hell yeah. I want to be like a fucking opera singer. I want to be an artist. I want to be like, like I want to be a race car driver. I want to be an investment banker, and I want to be like the best one in the world, and it's an art form to me, and it's like, or everything comes down to like it being an art, doesn't it? I don't know. For most things, I would encourage my kid, apart from like if they were like, I'm gonna be a porn star, and I'm like, the fuck you are. Ain't no way, dude. But you give your kid enough leeway, you give your kid enough love, and you don't hurt them and traumatize them. Like, you need to do a lot needs to go wrong in a kid's life for them to turn to that kind of road. But like, I'm gonna find a good woman, marry her, and like dude. Because everyone has like a vision of like the parent they're gonna be, Everyone has a vision of the parent they want to be. I think also like it's just like it'll happen at its own time. Like, I really want, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I really wanted to have a kid by now. I wanted to be married and be done with this. I hate the single life. I fucking hate it. Everything about it sucks. And it's just like, dude, I think this is officially 10 years since like my last like official relationship. And I'm like, I've been done with it 5 years ago. I was done with it 3 years ago, or like 3 years ago. I was done with it like 3 years in. But only now do I feel like after a decade, I'm just like, you know what? It'll happen when it happens. It'll go the pace it's gonna go. If I could do anything, it's to be supportive of my friends who find their person and encourage them to just, be the best version of themselves. And the thing is that their path is always going to be different than mine. It's going to be different than yours. It's going to be different than anybody's. It's always going to be different. But yeah, just be encouraging of the world around you and giving people like, hey, like, you're doing fine. I love you. I care about you. That's the thing, right? Like, I don't feel like homies tell their other homies they love them. They say it as a joke, and it can sound gay, but like, Nah, bro. Like I love my friends. I care about them the same way I love my family. It's the same thing. I think I'm gonna get to 1720, and I want to rotate into War Thunder again. You don't realize how slow these encounters go until you're actually like counting the seconds. But yeah, man, I can talk all day long about what's gonna happen next, but I can't. I feel like I can't like talk about it without like talking about a faith and belief in something more than yourself, like talking about God and like whatever it is. Because I do genuinely believe it. I believe that a lot of you have some form of belief, a belief like that. And that's why people have like that's why people have faith, man. Sometimes you lose sight of it, but it's always going to be there. It's always just going to be around for you. That's the thing. At the end of the day, God loves you. He does it for you. Even your suffering, even your anguish, even your torment is for you. I believe it goes like this. It's like you suffer to build faith through the good, and then you may suffer again. You know, like, and it's more to just ground you. If that's what it feels like to me, like it feels like it's grounding me while pulling me up, right? Because like we've talked about uh, self-esteem issues and shit, but it's like I feel like it humbles you while building your ego. It really is a weird feeling, but I'm all for it, man. I don't. It does not feel like a bad thing. It feels better than most things I've done. Like not thinking about certain things every 2 seconds is really, really refreshing. But there are things that I'm almost tormented by because of how much I think about them. And I know one day it's going to end. It's to build my patience. It's to build my faith. It's to build all these beautiful things that I'm hopefully praying to be ready for. But if it happens to me, and then I imagine that I'm ready for them in some way, or it's going to be a lesson of some way. All right, last one, and then we're going back to some more Thunder. Do that. 1720. Close that. Do-do-do-do. All right. Go over here.
Right.
Gaming.
I'm
Oh.
eating a sandwich while watching these trans people uh, say some crazy shit
All right.
and taking this online course. I'm doing a lot
All right.
here. It's really awesome. But I am down the game once this is complete.
All right. War Thunder.
What is going on?
Oh, it's an Asmongold video.
Yeah.
Oh God. So what's the context of what's going on?
I don't know. It's just some trans people. Like,
All right.
I don't really know what they're talking about, if I'm honest. They're just saying, like, one was like threatening violence,
All right.
and they're all just like screaming, pretty much.
Sounds about right.
Who's this guy?
They really find like some of the craziest looking op people. Like this is like someone you would make out of like fucking.
Look at the guy taking a selfie in the background.
I like I genuinely like when I see shit like this, I'm like, there's no way these people are real. You know, like there's no way that is like a sentient like there's no way that is the same species as me, you know?
Right.
But they are somehow.
Oh yeah.
Gotta use these boosters before they expire.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
I hate that.
Wow.
I find that.
Wow. Wow. What a time. What an ad timing. Oh my god. If that wasn't scripted, that's like YouTube knows how funny that was.
Right.
Hi, Watcher. My friend has a video on in the background that I can't show you because I'll get copyright striked. But I'm playing War Thunder now. Yay! Hello there. Okie dokie.
This person waving in the
Have
back.
fun in the funny triangle. It's not fun. Jesus Christ. What are you doing, Watcher?
This one's nuts.
Oh my god.
Look at the brows, bro.
I will never understand drag queens, man. I just...
It's like, do what you want. Like, listen, yeah, I think they look weird, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go fucking bully them. But my god, why you gotta...
What's with the getup? Like,
Yeah, just do your thing, man.
I wish I could show you. I really do, but it is just so... It's a fucking Asmongold video.
I wonder why.
I think I never fired that missile. Ugh. I don't know if that's gonna get there. Oh my god, it did.
One second, I gotta go. Skip to the end of this. It lets you complete the quiz.
What are you doing a quiz for?
This is for my SCCA license.
Ah.
It's a bullshit quiz. It's like, bro, you gave me a novice license, I won my debut race, and you're making me go through all this bullshit.
Yeah. They gotta make sure you know how to drive again. For like the 100 millionth time.
Let's see.
Oh, that thing's cooked.
So that was false. Let's do a different combination of that.
Yeah, man, we were on our hype shit. I was on my motivation kick again. I don't know if I could even call it that. I think it's just like passion.
Combinations of this.
I don't know. Oh. Oh no.
Not it.
Sometimes that helps.
That's perfect. Same exact order as the last answer. 15. Next chapter. I don't think Aiden realized that he didn't have to sit through the videos, that you can just fast forward to the end and then just take the quiz.
Sounds about right.
False. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's going to be true. It's going to be false. And let's do that one. Bam. Next chapter. This is so bullshit, dude. Go to the end of that. Bam. Let's complete the quiz.
Like, what are these? What are the questions asking you? I'm not looking.
I'm not even reading them if I'm honest.
Oh. Like, someone got paid to make that. Like, yeah, this is what we need.
We're just gonna do this. Take
It's got bombs. Why? Just gonna mute in and out of Discord for a bit.
skip to the end.
What color is a
always say
yellow
about-
flag?
Next chapter. Safety equipment. All of which of my safety equipment has teched and certified. Like, why do I have to do this? It makes no fucking sense.
They need to know. They do know. They need to know again. God damn, this thing is thirsty. Back to that. Man, I pretty much said everything I needed to say today. I didn't really think about it. Some days it gets a little easier. Some days, like today, I'm like just kind of like, no, dude. Why? No, no, come back, come back, come back. I don't know why it's doing this now, man. Come on. Usually it fixes it, but it's not. motherfucker.
There's nothing
Another
I
fucking
hate more than fucking select all red flag questions.
fucking aim 9L, dude.
No.
Oh, they also lowered the BR of the SU-22s to
Oh
11
really?
now. Too bad I've already fucking thugged it out. It doesn't mean shit now. You know what? I've kind of
Okay.
run out of shit to think about. I've run out of shit to talk about.
Submission.
It
How
just
would I
feels like
rate
the
this
right
course?
moment.
1. How satisfied with what I learned? 1. How likely are you to recommend this course to someone? 1. How did you hear about
Why
this
in
course?
God's name would you recommend any course to anybody?
Do I
That's
have to
stupid.
fucking...
You know what? I'll stall for 6 minutes. I want to hit my 3 hours.
Please provide any additional feedback. Sucks. Actually, I won't type that.
Mid as hell.
Bam. Okay, time to do the other one.
There's another one?
There's 2. Gotta take
Why?
2. Oh my god, dude. Okay. C Academy. Login required again, even though I've already been logged in. I'm gonna take module 2. Start. So I'd like to start the next chapter. Take quiz. Like half the quiz is like on what I need to like obtain a novice permit. Like, why are you quizzing me on it when I've already gathered all the paperwork? You know, I don't understand.
It's just tedious.
This is how you know that half the fucking participants just have Alzheimer's. This is why they do this.
Oh, 100%. This isn't for legit drivers. Why would it be? Alright. Gonna burn this 300% booster. But yeah, I just run
Let's
a.
check here. How many
I
chapter
don't know.
runs?
I
Like
feel like this is
7
kind of
now?
just
Alright, we
like
can
one
do
of those
this.
chiller days, you know? Something
Oh,
that.
that I went to the physical with my doc. My doctor has like Asperger's or something. Like he's
Oh?
very thorough, but like I went for a physical for the pure sake of like filling out this form, and I was there for almost 4 hours.
Oh my god. That's insane.
He just goes off on tangents. He X-rayed my feet because I'm flat-footed. Apparently, I'm like, dude, this is not important. Like, I need you to fill this form out so that I can go race a car. That's the only reason I'm here to see you.
But how can he give you a clean bill of health if he doesn't x-ray your feet, huh?
Get flat-footed. It's gonna lead to problems later. I'm like, well, great. I can press the pedal right now, can't I?
Dude, I don't know anybody who isn't flat-footed.
Yeah, that's what I mean, bro. He's like, yeah, your toes are doing this. Like, he's like, go to the shoe place and like get resized. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking do this. Back issues. He has back issues. He's had like 6 back surgeries.
Oh my god.
I'm like, that sucks. But like, climbing, I don't have back issues. I've never had back issues. Okay. Successfully did whatever you wanted to do after the next quiz.
I'm sorry, AV8, but I gotta swipe this from you. If I didn't have this 300% booster, it'd be all yours. Oh my god, wait, is he gonna beat me to it? Oh my god, he's gonna beat me to it. Not wasting a bomb on just a hit. Beautiful. Oh man. Yeah, I'm fried. Did not realize I still had my fucking air brake down. Of course, this is the. I'm perfectly lined up with an F4, well, F104C, and I don't have a missile. I hate the way it like having a booster changes mentality, man. Like I'm going into this like I'm like I need to get rid of my missiles, like at least get the points. Like I got 300 fucking percent booster. Man, I'm like really cooked right now.
my god, I think Evan is sending out Evie's invitations.
Oh? So
He had me
soon.
take a picture of him last night. And I won't describe anything more because I want you to see it for yourself if you
All
also
right.
get the same invite. But it's funny. Next chapter. Number 6. And don't congratulate me. This is hell. This is heartbreaking.
Congrats! You did your. Shut the fuck up. Let's get some more bombs. Go to base. Oh man. Yeah, I'm fucking cooked, dude. Hopefully I'll stream tomorrow. What day is tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Oh jeez. Not my day.
Thoughts.
See, it's good because I got it's my boy's birthday on Valentine's Day.
Hello?
Hey.
Scared the fuck out of me.
If it isn't my fellow aviators.
Airplane!
I'm actually in SCCA purgatory at the moment, but then I'll be down to aviate.
You're in SCCA purgatory? What the fuck happened?
I'm taking the stupid quizzes.
Quizzes? What quizzes?
I have to take a fucking class. I got a novice permit, won the fucking race against the only competent people that race in the fucking region, and I have to do this.
Oh, is it because... Wait, you not race Hoosier Super Tour with a novice?
I raced a majors with a novice.
So then why do you have to do a class? I never had to do a class.
I don't fucking know, dude. I didn't have to do a class the first time I got it. I don't get it.
Oh, okay, I'm stupid. Never mind. I guess because Evan, I got the full comp license, so I didn't have to do it. But that's weird. Why didn't Evan just get you a full comp license?
I don't know. Well, he told me he would, but like I don't know what I'm doing here.
This is usually the part they tell you didn't need to do all that.
Bro's got to go back to school.
Hey Siri, call Evan Jacobs. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh, so I was I just got back from the doctor, or from a consultation, and so they reviewed my